Hi there, Andrew Crude here from your Service Zone. Thank you for taking the time to watch part three of our three-part series on where do you buy precious metals. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out the first two parts. They're available on our YouTube channel. This will be part of a playlist, so you'll be able to watch all three parts back to back. If that's something you want to do, and you may be doing that right now. But first of all, just again, want to thank you for taking the time to watch this and having the interest in what precious metals are all about and what different options there are available to you to acquire these products. So, going to get right into it. If you've watched the other two parts, not going to rehash too much, but just want to give a bit of disclaimer there. I'm not providing any investment advice. As you can see there, this is a layman's explanation. Basically, I'm just an ordinary guy, and my wife and I, Kelly, we really are passionate about one, about precious metals and the important role they play in the global economy, especially now more than ever. And also, we just have a real passion about educating others and sharing what we learn with other people as well. So hopefully you find this interesting. So as I said, I'm sharing this information based on my personal experiences, research and understanding of the global economy and the importance of precious metals, not investment advice. I'm not a financial planner or a registered accountant or anything like that. I'm just a guy who loves what he learns about and sharing it with others. So hopefully you find something useful out of it. I really do. And if you do, please pop a comment down there, like the video, and love to hear some feedback. Okay, so let's get straight into it, guys. Okay, so a bit of a recap of the last two videos. So the series is about where do you buy precious metals. This can be quite a daunting thing for a lot of people, and we want to break it down and make it as simple and easy for you as possible. So video one, part one, we covered the traditional gold sources, or precious metal sources I should say. So this would be things like coin dealers, specialized bullion dealers, government mints. So throughout time, these are the things that would have been available to everyone, and you would have had to have physically gone to the shop front or the mint or a location to buy your gold or silver or platinum or palladium or whatever it was you wanted to buy, and pick that up and take it home with you. So then we moved on to part two, and in part two we kind of explored the new territory, so to speak, of online shopping of precious metals. So we all, I'm sure, if you're watching this, you're obviously online. That goes without saying. But it also, there's more than a good chance that you've done at least some form of online shopping. This might be through a e-commerce company like Amazon. They started as just a bookseller. Now you can pretty much buy the kitchen sink on Amazon. You can buy everything and anything there. There's eBay, which is like an auction site, and then there's you can do your grocery shopping online now as well. Kelly and I use that quite a bit. We had a delivery last night, almost 9 o'clock at night, for our groceries for this week. It's just the convenience. Life is busy, and whether you're working in a job or you're running a business from home, whatever you're doing, sometimes taking that time while you're really engaged and laser focused on your business, or certain things in life, the convenience of being able to jump online, click a few buttons and get someone to bring it to you, just allows that convenience. So same thing with buying precious metals online. There is a lot of specialized online bullion dealers. One of the ones we talked about was goldsilver.com, Mike Maloney's company. There's also online stores for the government mints, or maybe specialized bullion dealers in your local area or capital cities that have an online presence as well as a physical presence. And then there's those highly specialized e-commerce companies we talked about, and the one we talked about with Carrot Bars, and there's a few others around as well, that all they specialize in is maybe a certain type of precious metal, gold or silver or something, and they might only specialize in certain sizes. So, for example, Carrot Bars deals with 1, 2.5, and 5 gram gold bars. So those kind of things are something that fits into every budget category, and they allow you the flexibility and choice of shopping online. So that's part 1 and 2. If you haven't watched them, go back and check them out. And I hope you find them really useful. And again, if you like them, hit the like button. If you've got any comments, love to get those. And we'll share my email address later on if you want to send us anything personally to let us know how you found this. Okay, so part 3. Final part. So I'm looking at this time, we're looking at kind of the other options that you have to buy precious metals. And I've just done some brainstorming. This isn't a comprehensive list. It's not the only list that is available. Get some water. But these are kind of 3 things that popped into my mind and typically people might think of when they're thinking about buying precious metals, and in particular gold and silver would come to mind here. So the first one we're going to look at is jewelry stores, jewelry shops. It might seem like a bit of a weird one, but I'll explain why we're thinking about that. The second one would be pawn shops, or in some places they might be called, I don't know what they'd be called, but they're basically places where you can go and either sell an item and get some cash, or you can go, if you need a short-term loan, you can go and take something in, and what they do is called pawn it, and they'll give you cash, and then you go back and you return the money plus some interest and get your item back. They hold it as a kind of a security. And then the final thing, which I didn't put in when I originally started this series, it was not something I was going to cover. But the more research I've done and the more things I've looked at in other areas that we're doing as well, the exchange traded funds category really came up. And the interesting thing about that, and I'll touch it more when we get to that slide, is how the exchange traded funds for precious metals actually really drives the whole supply and demand and pricing of the entire precious metals market. So really interesting stuff there. I'm really excited about it. Hopefully you are too, and we'll definitely get into these in a bit more detail. So that's where we're going with this one. Hang on, it's going to be a great probably another 20 minutes, or probably hopefully keep it to 15 minutes. Hopefully this is one of the shorter videos, but we'll definitely get through this all. There'll be valuable information, and hopefully you find value in it too. Okay, so jewelry stores. So I guess in most countries, you would struggle to go to a shopping center and not see a jewelry store or two, especially in some larger shopping centers. Yeah, in the display cases, you'll find a wide range of earrings, necklaces, rings, all made from silver and gold, maybe even some platinum in some higher end stores. And as nice as these things look, from the perspective of acquiring precious metals for wealth protection, which is what we're talking about with this series, these are not a very good investment, and I'll use investment there loosely. This isn't investment advice or anything else, but typically when you're buying precious metals, you're looking at it as an investment or a hedge against declining value of dollars and other assets. So remember, when we're buying precious metals, you want it to be as pure as possible. Okay, so that's something we talked about in parts 1 and touched on part 2. The purity is what gives value to gold, silver, or any precious metal. So jewelry here in Australia, United States, we typically look at it in carats. In some other parts of the world, they look at it as a percentage. But if you're not buying 24 karat or 99.99% purity, then you're really robbing yourself of value, okay? Because those 24 karat or 999.99 or 99.99% purity is quite often referred to as currency grade gold. And it's this currency grade gold that will give you the most purchasing power and resale value. If dollars start through inflation and everything else. Okay, it's that purity is also what the spot price is based on, and anything less will not give you that return on value. So whenever you see that spot price on the news or in newspapers or online or anything, that's based on pure currency grade gold, or as pure as you can get. Okay, So typically, if you walked into a jewelry store, 24 karat jewelry, it's pretty hard to find because that purity of gold, especially gold and silver as well, it's too soft to be used in jewelry. Okay, it just will bend. It will not hold its shape properly. It'll won't break because gold's very pliable, but it will not hold the shape that was intended. So in most circumstances, either 14 karat or 18 karat are the normal levels of purity that are used. And these can be as low as only 50 or 60% of the metal. So if you've got, say, a 14 karat gold ring or necklace or something, you're only looking at 50 to 60% of that necklace being actual gold or silver. So, from that you can see if you paid X amount for that item, you're only getting a small percentage of that in actual precious metals that you are wanting. Obviously, you step up to 18 karat, it's a higher percentage. It's about 71%, I think, from memory. But because of that, you really are not getting that value for money, so to speak. And it's also why you can buy a gold necklace for $100 because they're using very little actual gold in that. Okay, some other factors that you want to, so that's the quality of the metal. So the other factors that comes into the price of jewelry is the intrinsic value that's placed on it, because obviously someone's had to create that product in the form you've got it, so a ring or a necklace, and that takes workmanship, takes skill, and you got to pay someone to do that. So for example, if you had a 24 karat ring or necklace and the equivalent amount of gold by weight side by side, so you took your ring, placed it on a scale, got another scale and had exactly the same amount of gold, 24 karat each of them, what you would have to pay for that ring in the form it is would be more than what you would pay for just the gold sitting on the other scale. And that's because you have to build in that cost of someone creating and forming that ring. So when you go to sell it, typically people are only going to want to buy the gold weight. They look at that, especially if you want to sell it to a pawn shop or something like that. They're not going to care what is actually the ring. They're going to look at, if it's 24 karat, they're going to look at what the melt price is and what they can get from the gold, because that's worth a lot more to them than reselling the actual ring. Okay, so hopefully that makes a bit of sense to you. There are a lot of cultures in the world that they will not buy gold coins or anything like that. They'll actually buy as pure gold jewelry as they can, and kind of wear it, and that's where they keep their wealth, is in this gold jewelry. Now, I'm not going to say that's a good or a bad thing. That's each person, each to their own, so to speak. But that is something that is definitely done in a number of cultures around the world. Okay, pawn shops. Okay, so in the first two parts of this series, I highlighted the importance of making sure you know the product you're purchasing and that it's authentic. Okay, so that's by tracing where the refinery it was made in, a certificate of authenticity, a reputable licensed dealer, etc., etc. Now, by going to a pawn shop, actually, let me stop there. I'm not wanting to imply that all pawn shop owners or this trade is thieves or crooks or anything else. These are legitimate businessmen, as I'll say again, but I just want awareness to be out there that this industry has had a bad reputation. There are people in it that are not necessarily on the side of the law sometimes, but this is each decision you need to make in acquiring gold or silver or any precious metal. That's a decision you need to work out if this is the pathway you want to take. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. Okay, so by going to a pawn shop, even a highly reputable one, you're not always guaranteed to the authenticity of the product to the level you are from, say, like I said, a specialized bullion dealer or other source. This isn't to say that all the products in these stores are not real. Just a bit of caution, a bit of awareness, a bit of like they say, if it sounds too good to be true, sometimes it's too good to be true. So if they're saying it's 24 karat coin or a 999 karat purity coin and they're selling it to you $100 for an ounce, yeah, I'd be questioning that. So you got to take everything with a bit of skepticism, and that's like any kind of investment. You do your due diligence, manage your risk, and make the decision as you would based on those factors. So obviously the unfortunate truth, as I mentioned, is that pawn shops have been used for a long time, or as long as they've been around really, for thieves to go and offload stolen property. They saw it as a way of doing that without having to provide any information and really kind of cash in on the proceeds of crime. Now, obviously, the industry has become highly regulated, especially in countries like here in Australia, the United States, Europe, I'm sure as well, Western countries, where the vast majority of operators are legitimate business owners and they take all possible precautions to protect themselves and obviously the victims of the crime from this type of activity, but by not allowing people to offload this property. Now, having said that, even the most well-known, there are areas of the industry that their whole business is based on that, but that's I'm not accusing anyone here or anything else. Not wanting to tarnish that industry. It provides a very good service to the community. But now, having said that, even the most well-known pawn shops, and here's an example of where this can become really sticky and murky and kind of scary for people dealing with precious metals. They can fall victim to receiving stolen property even without knowing it. Okay, so I'm not sure if you've seen the report. Mike Maloney actually posted this news article. You may have seen the TV show Pawn Stars. That's Pawn, not the other one. It's based around that pawn shop in Vegas, Las Vegas, Nevada, in the United States, called Gold and Silver Pawn. Really, they've kind of put themselves on the map as TV stars and everything else by showing what they do in their shop. So I guess on around February 27th, which is just a couple of days ago now, when I'm making this video, which is kind of really good how it's all fallen into place as an example. But there's accusations that they received $40,000 worth of collectible gold coins that were stolen, and then they actually melted it down because the value of the melted gold was worth more than the coins in their opinion. Now look, nothing's been proven. It's been shown that the person that's accused of stealing it did sell the products there and received cash for it, not $40,000 of course. But look, I'm not saying they're guilty of anything. They didn't break any laws. They reported the items as they were required to by law. But it just shows that that whole area, when dealing with precious metals, is an area you just want to have a lot more due diligence about and a lot more awareness about when going in there, either to sell your gold or silver or precious metals or to buy from them. So just something to think about. Yeah, and the final thing I guess I want to touch on about that is these businesses, they know a lot about a lot of stuff, but what they know about all that stuff is not necessarily very deep. So they will not typically be experts in everything that they have in their store. They may have a few areas that they're experts in because they're very passionate about those particular products or areas. It might be a personal interest or something, but they will not necessarily be experts in precious metals, for example. And on the TV show Pawn Stars, you see these guys call in their experts about a specific area if they're not sure. But most pawn shops down in your main street aren't going to have experts on call to check on a product that is a bit different, so to speak. Okay, so like I said, just be careful. And another example I've got, some people I work with, they had someone that took a 1 gram gold bar into a pawn shop near where they lived, and the pawn shop owner paid them $100 for that gold. Okay, now if you work that out, that's almost $3,000 an ounce, and gold hasn't broken through the $2,000 an ounce barrier in the last 2 years, well, not even close. So it's about 1900. But so that person way overpaid because they'd never seen that type of product before. they paid twice as much, about twice as much as what it was actually worth. So it just gives you another example of, yeah, these people know a little about a lot and not a lot about a little, which, what I'm trying to do here is teach you more about buying precious metals as I'm learning it as well. Okay, so hopefully that covers the pawn shops. Finally, exchange traded funds. So you might, or ETFs, so you might be going, what the heck is an exchange traded fund? Basically, think of it like kind of it's a stock almost. It's a paper asset, so it doesn't actually physically exist, especially nowadays with electronic trading. And what it basically is the it's where the spot price is generated from. So, if you watch the news at night or any time, here in Australia, typically at the end of any news segment, they'll have, currency rates. If you're here in Australia, we look at the US dollar, the British pound, the euro, and the New Zealand dollar compared to the Australian dollar. We look at what the price of oil is and also what the price of gold is. So this price that is shown is the spot price, and that is always based on the ETF price. Okay, so basically an ETF is a certificate that says you have the right to claim X amount of what it represents, and in this case, X number of ounces of a precious metal. So, you might buy a certificate for 100 ounces of precious metals. If you're talking about gold, that would be the equivalent of $130,000, give or take, based on current prices. And they basically, you can buy these ETFs in any kind of commodity: oil, corn, gas, wheat, coffee, whatever's traded. You can buy an ETF for it. So why did I bring these up as another option? Well, they are an option out there, but I just want to, again, bit of disclosure here. Again, I'm not a financial expert, not an investment. Just kind of want to give you the my understanding of it. The problem with ETFs in terms of protecting your wealth is you're not actually buying the physical product. You're buying a certificate. So basically, if you were to try and actually go back to the person that sold you the certificate and say, hey, I've got this ounce of gold certificate, I want to get my ounce of gold delivered to me, there's a very good chance that you'll actually never get it, and they won't be able to deliver on that. Okay, and there is an estimate that, and Mike Maloney talks about a lot of this in his work, that there's actually more certificates for ounces of gold, meaning the number of gold certificates out there in circulation through the ETFs and stuff like that exceeds the actual amount of gold that's ever been produced in the world substantially. And when you consider that governments, China's government central bank holds 8,000 metric tons of gold or something, if there's more certificates than gold in availability, then that's a bit of a problem. And I'm sure you can start to see that. And the other thing about the ETF is that it drives the spot price of precious metals, not the demand and supply of the actual physical product. And as you would have seen in the news, over the last 12 to 18 months, gold especially has dropped quite dramatically, and silver's done the same thing. It dropped from about $50 an ounce down to $20, and it dropped actually down to almost $19, $18 an ounce. So, the demand for the physical product, especially, like I said, in China, is actually increasing and increasing quite rapidly. So, you got to have a look at that and think, okay, is there a bit of price manipulation? Why is the demand for physical gold and silver going up, but the actual price going down? That's just my personal opinion. You do your own research and look into that. But it's really kind of interesting to see how that is playing out right now. But for those of us that want to actually buy precious metals, this is a good thing. Keep it low. That's the more we can buy with our dollars. So that's not a bad thing at all. Okay, so that's just like exchange traded funds. If you're looking to acquire gold to protect your wealth, I would, my opinion, not a good place to go. But that's your choice. Okay, so that's it for this part. So where to from here, guys? Okay, so like I said, part 3 is done of where to buy precious metals. So we now have all 3 videos available. to view. They'll be part of a playlist. I'm going to put together an intro and a final video to go along with these, so keep your eyes out for those. Now, as I've put in the other two parts, what are you going to do here personally? Like I said, do your research. Don't rely on me. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that's really passionate, along with Kelly. We're very passionate about precious metals and the important role they're playing in the economy. And decide on your strategy. What do you want to do? Do you want to put 5%? Do you want to put 10%? Do you want to put 100% of your net worth into precious metals? You see hyperinflation coming. You see collapse of the currency crisis. There's all these things that could happen. What are you going to do? But most importantly, do something. Um, you know, if you don't have huge amounts of cash to put in, like we certainly don't, but we're buying little bits at a time. If you want to get started doing that, give us a call, let us know. We'll happy to talk to you about it. Talk to people, go into a specialized bullion dealer and chat to them what you can start getting your hands on straight away. Um, you know, Talk to friends. They may already be buying, and you can maybe get in with them, and by buying bulk together, you can get at a slightly cheaper rate. So these are just some ideas, guys. Remember, the information I've provided here is for educational purposes only. I'm not recommending any specific investment or buying strategy. That is a decision you guys need to make. And if you want to learn more about precious metals or any other topic along these lines, or about the economy or anything else, send me an email. I've got the email address, my email address on the screen right now. I'll also put it in the description below with the description of these videos. And I'd love to put something else together. I really enjoy doing this because it helps me in my learning, and hopefully it helps you as well. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Thank you very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next video series. So, see you later for now. Bye.